The coastal town of Tabo, Chile, in February is a place of gentle rhythms. The Pacific breeze carries the salt tang of the ocean, and the nights are typically quiet, broken only by the sound of waves caressing the shore. 27-year-old Paulina, sharing a room with her younger sister. The night of February 2011 began like any other, retreat into the safe, familiar darkness of her home. There was no premonition, no sign of the profound rupture that was about to occur. It began not with a sound, but with a silent invasion of light. At approximately 2 a.m., a powerful, whitish luminescence flooded the room. It didn't stream through the window. It emanated from the doorway, saturating the space with an intensity that was both brilliant and utterly silent. Paulina was jolted awake, her eyes flying open to a world transformed into an overexposed photograph. Simultaneously, a terrifying realization dawned. She was a prisoner in her own body. A profound, unshakable paralysis held her fast. She could not turn her head, could not lift a finger, could not cry out to her sleeping sister beside her. She was a conscious witness, trapped in a vessel of flesh and bone, forced to watch whatever was about to unfold. And then they entered. Moving with a silent, gliding grace, 3 figures approached the bed. Their forms were the source of the light, or perhaps were illuminated by it from within. They were impossibly tall, their slender heads nearly scraping the low ceiling of the modest bedroom. Their bodies were thin and elongated, clad in tight-fitting garments of a dark, seamless material that seemed less like clothing and more like a second skin, devoid of zippers, buttons, or any hint of stitching. As the initial wave of pure, animalistic terror began to crest, something shifted within Paulina. The beings, now close enough for her to discern their features, exuded an aura that was not of menace, but of a profound and alien serenity. Their faces were hairless, their features elegant and refined. Their eyes were somewhat larger than a human's, holding a depth that was unsettling, yet strangely captivating. In a moment of surreal clarity, Paulina's fear began to dissolve, replaced by an overwhelming sense of awe. She would later struggle to articulate it, settling on the word beauty, a strange, unearthly beauty that calmed her frantic soul. One of the beings positioned itself at the head of the bed. It leaned over her, its presence both immense and gentle. Without a word, it extended a long, slender hand and softly, almost reverently, touched the center of her forehead. The moment of contact was an electric synapse between 2 realities. Paulina's vision was consumed by a brilliant, all-encompassing white light, as if a star had gone supernova behind her eyes. Accompanying it was a sound, a sharp, definitive pop, like the bursting of a giant balloon. It was the last sensory input her conscious mind would record. Then, nothing. A void. A perfect, unblemished, blank space in her memory. The next thing she knew, it was morning. Gray, ordinary daylight filtered into the room. Her sister still slept peacefully beside her. The world had, by all appearances, returned to normal. Yet, everything felt different. The memory of the night was a ghosta haunting. Visceral impression of light and tall, silent figures, but its core was a black hole. It was only later that day, as she moved through her routine with a sense of disquiet, that she overheard the neighbors talking. Their voices were hushed, tinged with excitement and unease. They spoke of a luminous object, a silent, brilliant craft, seen hovering low above the treetops in the dead of night. The timeline was unmistakable. For Paulina, this was the final, corroborating piece of a puzzle she could never fully solve. The encounter in Tabo was not a nightmare born of sleep paralysis, though it shared its symptoms. It was a moment of contact, brief and inexplicable. The tall, beautiful beings left no physical marks, no puncture wounds or tangible evidence. Instead, they left something more intangible, a memory wiped clean, a profound sense of awe and a quiet, enduring mystery that would forever divide her life into two distinct halves: the time before the light and the time after.